educate and encourage your women to motivate you through whatever you've been going through. We can talk about it. We ain't passing no judgment. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. Tune into your lane talk show. It makes us feel good just to know we're not alone. No more will we feel isolated and cast aside. I want you to come out the dark. Just don't be afraid of your heart. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. It's your lane talk show with Coach Trish Hannah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to your Lane Talk Show, where we don't just stay in our lane, we thrive in it, honey. Happy Sunday to each and every one of you. For those who are just joining us for the first time, your Lane Talk Show was created to encourage, empower, and educate women of all ages. I am so excited to be in your company. For those who've been following us, guess what? Next week is going to make 3 years. So for those who've been following us within this 3-year journey, thank you so much for being a part of your lane and for your encouragement and of course your views and your constructive criticisms. I get all of them, and I'm grateful for them, and I thank you for bearing with me and for tuning in and for participating and engaging. All right, now we're going to get straight into it because we have a very, I wouldn't even say it's heavy. It's going to be fun. We have a very fun and interesting show. But before I even talk about that, let's talk about last week. Last week we covered a topic to help us all in uncertain times. The topic was entitled "The Lord Will Provide," and we had Apostle Rosemary Pena, all right, who reminded us that we still serve a God who provides. All right, He's called Jehovah Jireh. He is faithful. All right, one who sees, who cares, and who knows all about us. And if you need to increase your faith, I would encourage you to go and listen to that episode. It is on Coach Trish Hannah's YouTube page, episode 131. The Lord Will Provide. There's so much in that show. It's so, my God, everyone was touched who tuned in and still talking about it. People at my church and people at hers still talking about it because, listen, let me tell you something. Today for me, tomorrow for you. You know what I mean? We have people who, even in the state where they're saying, okay, we're doing well, we're flourishing. However, there's still some needs that they're requesting and asking God for, not just financially. Someone might be needing a baby, you know what I mean? Someone might be needing a new home. Someone may need a vehicle. Someone might be needing favor, all of which was covered in last week's show. So you want to go ahead and tune into that. Now, listen, today's episode is for the single woman. All the single ladies, come to the front. All right, come to the front, especially those who've been asked, so tell me something. When you can get married? Oh, you ain't married yet? Oh, let me see what on your finger. You get engaged yet? Yeah. And I know y'all is be clenching y'all teeth like, listen, sis, if I know when I was getting married, you don't think I would have tried register from Kelly's and Target from long time? Yeah, I know. We know together. I know, but that, because 17 years ago, I've been harassed like that as well. All right. So we want to go ahead and talk to the single ladies today. And our topic is learning in the wait, singleness with purpose. And let me tell you, this conversation is about to be real. I have some realists here. I ain't gonna lie. I almost scared to give them the mic how real they are. All right. And they're raw. All right. So my guests are going to spill all the tea today. I promise you. And, they were strategically invited because I know each and every one of their personality is, all right, they're giving it to you. All right. So if you're thin skin, you might as well roll out now. because they can give it to you. All right. And we're going to discuss like the misconceptions of singleness, the dating world, how it is out there. Like seriously, like what's happening out there. I can't wait to hear this. The ghosting, the one night stands, yeah, and everything in between, right? Yeah, you should see one of the guest face right now. I can't explain it. Grab your journal, grab your tea, grab your tissue, because we're gonna talk about the healing process too. Some of us still ain't healed yet. Some of us, well, not us, but you know what I mean. Some women aren't healed from the last relationship. We about to talk about that today as well. All right, and how we can overcome those things. All right, so just tune in, and of course, tag your friends, tag your sister. Go share the link, and of course, you not only for those who may not be listening only on Facebook, we have other means and ways that you can tune into your Lane Talk Show. You can listen to us on Star 106.5 FM dial. You can also listen to us and see us on YouTube. Just look up Coach Trish Hannah. All right. And for those who have the In Faith app, we're there as well, live and ready. And that is on your mobile devices. So of course, you go ahead and download it if you don't know what it is, because it's more than just me. There's so many other influencers out there who are doing their thing for Christ on that In Faith app. I absolutely love that app. Okay, so come, let's go. We're going to go right into it. Your Lane, episode 132, Not Just Waiting, Singleness with Purpose. All right, and we're brought to you by John Shoe Store and Accessories, Your Lane Life Coaching, Emmanuel Medical Center. Take charge of your health with Emmanuel Medical Center, from annual physicals to managing diabetes, hypertension, and more. They provide compassionate, comprehensive care for all ages. You can give them a call at 393-9355 today. That's Emmanuel Medical Center, helping you achieve wellness. We're also brought to you by Lysol Disinfectant. Sickness can spread fast, but with Lysol, you can go into protect mode. Nothing kills more viruses on more surfaces than Lysol Disinfectant Spray, distributed by Thompson Trading. We're also brought to you by Del Monte. It's about quality, okay, with Del Monte, with non-GMO ingredients and BPA-free packaging. Every can is packed with fresh, nutritious goodness. Perfect for quick snacks or hearty meals. You'll find Del Monte at your favorite food store. Fresh taste, smart choices, distributed by Thompson Trading. We're also brought to you by Airwick. Fill your home with the fresh, inviting scents of Airwick. From floral to fruity, warm to refreshing, there's a fragrance for every mood. With long-lasting freshness, Airwick transforms any space into a welcoming retreat. Find yours today. Airwick, home is in the air. Distributed by Thompson Trading. And guess what? We're also brought to you by Marriage Mechanics. Woohoo! Couples, mark your calendars. From June 12th to the 17th, you are invited to the beautiful Coconut Bay Beach Resort and Spa in St. Lucia. If you've never been, I wonder if my guest been to St. Lucia before. I can ask her that later. But if you've never been to St. Lucia, there's a wonderful time for you to go, all right, for the Marriage Mechanics Retreat. Naked and Unashamed. It's a powerful, immersive experience designed to restore, rebuild, and rejuvenate marriages. Featuring dynamic guest speakers, Pastor Kevin L.A. Ewing and his beautiful helpmeet, Deidre Ewing. Hey! Along with hosts Lucian and Tracy Humphreys. They my people. All right, couples will enjoy impactful sessions, fun adventures, and unforgettable moments together. For more information, you can email marriagemechanics@gmail.com or visit www.marriagemechanics.com. And lastly, we are brought to you by Hadassah's Helping Hands Foundation. And of course, they are hosting their annual clothing and grocery give back Saturday, June 7th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Christie Park. All right, the number to call there if you want to go ahead and donate anything, because they're looking for lots of donations to help and feed those who are in need. The number to call is 468-0101. That's 468-0101. They are asking for new or gently used clothing and shoes sizes from infants, toddlers, teens, and adults, for both male and female. All right. They are creating care packages and are in need of grocery items such as 50-pound bags of grits, cases of tuna, cases of cream, bales of 2-pound rice, cases of Kraft macaroni and cheese, cases of 2 pounds of sugar, cases of corn, cases of 24 count noodles, cereals, bread, cases of small cooking oil, and so much more. And of course, there's always room for if you want to come and be a part of distributing those items. That's once again the numbers 468-0101, so that you can give a helping hand. Corporate, I'm asking you to go ahead and do just that. All right. Absolutely love this organization. This foundation has been a blessing to so many people in the Bahamas. Go ahead, give them a call, and see how you can be a blessing. All right. Now, let me get into the guest introductions because I'm excited. We are all excited. And hello to those who are tuning in via Facebook. Blessings to you and welcome to the show. I want to let y'all know that I have a childhood friend who is no stranger to the show. Her name is Lernice Williams. She is a divorcee. Yeah, and she's going to talk about that point of view because we had to bring a little balance there for someone who has been married before and is presently single at the moment. Of course, we're going to share her hear about her insights and her journey on that. And then we also have, if you remember, a few Sundays ago we hosted a show, Pack Your Bags, Not Your Stress. I think that's episode 130 with Day Swan, and she's a travel consultant. She's actually going to talk a little bit about herself as well. I'm going to give all of them an opportunity to share a bit about themselves, just in case Mr. Wright is listening and tuning in as well. All right. And then our first time guest, my spirit took to her from the moment I met her. She's just so, I don't even know how to describe it. She has a bubbly personality. Oh, and she's a sharpshooter in the spirit. Okay, she got it. She has a wonderful personality inside and out. A prayer warrior, if I could describe her. You know what I mean? And she's charismatic. She's flowed. You're gonna get all of their personalities, of course, when you tune in. And she serves along with me in the Help Meet Army. Okay, and her name is Tashambia Blunt, and she's going to speak a little bit about herself as well. And even before I ask them to introduce themselves, I just want to shout out the Help Meet Army, in particular our generals. All right, General General Gerald and General Yvette Benton. Blessings to you and the Help Meet Squad. I know that they are here and they are tuning in and they are just excited about what's going to take place tonight. All right. So let's get into the introductions. We're going to start with Lernice and then we're going to do Day, and lastly, we're going to go ahead with Tashambia. Lernice.
Hi, my name is Lernice. I'm 43 years of age. Like Trishon mentioned, I'm a divorced person. I'm divorced 8 years now, and I've been on the single journey again. And it's been a journey, but a good one, not a bad one. I'm an accounting by profession. I worked at a brokerage company as a banking associate. I enjoy what I do. I love to travel. I love to dance. I'm a people's person. I could go anywhere, mingle, and I have um, two siblings who I am in charge of. My mother passed 14 years ago this year, and just seeing them evolve and being active in their life, that's all about me.
Thank you. Welcome to the show. Day?
Well, my name is Day Swan, and I'm a travel consultant and a host. I have two children. I am single. I have never been married. I am happily single, but I'm also in a relationship, so I don't know how much that counts.
Oh, okay. All right.
But still single, that's what I check in on the box.
Right. Yeah.
In a box for
Because they
relationship.
no, they don't have the box.
So,
no.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, yeah, that one, that's another. Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that. All right. And then Tashambia.
Hello, good evening. I am Tashambia Blunt, 41 years old. I'm actually a leader of one of our top banking firms here in Charlotte. I have never been married, no kids, and been single almost maybe about 2 years right now. Definitely getting married when the Lord says, but I think that's it. Excited to be here.
Welcome, welcome everyone. So we're all in our 40s. Hey, okay, all right, we out here.
Yeah.
The Shambia, we say we out here. Okay, we out
Chill.
here. We out here. Right? So just to break the ice, ladies, I want y'all to finish the sentence for me real quick. Now we ain't gonna go through no whole list. But one thing I love about being single is say you first.
My peace.
Or peace, your niece.
Getting to know me,
Getting to know.
enjoying me.
I love that. The Shambia.
Definitely intimacy with God. New
I love
level.
that. All right. Peace, getting to know yourself, and intimacy with God and a new level. All right. So we're going to get straight into it. I want to know, ladies, what has been your personal journey of singleness? And what has your no, let me rephrase that. What has your personal journey of singleness taught you about yourself? Because Lernie's just said getting to know herself, right? So let me hear, because Lernie's going to ask you a different question. So let me hear from Dave first. What has your personal journey of singleness taught you about yourself?
Well, initially we are taught certain things about being single, and our goal is, of course, to be married. But what I've learned is that if that doesn't happen, I'm still going to be okay. I am going to be better than okay. I have learned to find peace and solitude within myself. I had not. Once upon a time, I stressed about I'm single, I need to be married, I need to be in a relationship. And I did things that may have helped me to self-sabotage in a way, right? But I learned the things that I was doing wrong. I tried to correct those things, and I just put myself in a better position so that I'm good with me. Because at the end of the day, if I'm no good to myself, how am I going to be good to anybody else? And so I've really been working on me. I did my little Eat, Pray, Love journey so that I could clear my head and find peace and, calm the anxieties that may have gotten in the way and caused me to make decisions that may not have been the right decisions to make. And so all of that was just a matter of working on myself, working on my inner peace, understanding things about myself. A lot of people, we don't understand things about ourselves, but we still want to give all of this to someone.
Come on.
How are you going to give that to someone when we don't even know what it is? But we want them to understand us, and we want them to be there for us. So a lot of this time in getting into your 40s and having an understanding when you realize that peace is so much more important than everything else. So I say that, and I'm going to say it over and over again, because honestly, it's a lot going on in your head, and you're saying that people are asking you, so when you going to get married, and when you going to do this, and when you going to do that? Leave me alone.
Oh,
I am good.
I'm
Okay?
good over here.
I am
Right.
good over here.
Right.
I'm going to be good no
Right.
matter what. So
I
that's
love
what
that.
do. That's
I
what
love
be
that.
doing.
Just getting to know who you are, getting your peace. I don't want you to think that peace ain't in marriages,
No, I don't. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the peace because of just hearing you need to do this, you need to do that. So you're stressing yourself out. So you inside yourself, you're not at peace because we trying to find this thing, lose coat for no I go feel.
Oh,
So, I'm just, instead of every day rushing, trying to make myself that person, it was the peace in myself to get me to a calm place to be ready to accept the
Like
right
everything's
person when
okay.
they came along.
right. I get that. All right. I'm glad that you clarified that, because
There you go.
we out here, right?
Yeah.
We have some marriages that are quite peaceful.
Yeah. And I
we
believe that. Why
be
else-
good.
Why else we want that?
Oh,
Right?
oh, let's want that, right? Oh, all right. So, Deshambia, what are your thoughts on that? The question I asked is, what has your personal journey of singleness taught you about yourself?
I would say, just so much. Okay, one thing, that perfectionism had to die. Okay, we like. So I agree with Day when she was talking about trying to just be all that somebody else wants you to be, but then you don't even know yourself. So when I said earlier about intimacy, this time around being single, God had to show me that He's in charge. He's Lord. And so for me, being single has not been a horrible thing. Had I not been single, I would not have gotten to this place being reconciled back to Christ. I think that was priority, because we have so many other idols, and I know that's a totally another whole subject, but we put so many things before Him. But I still agree with what they say too, just learning to love yourself. focusing on your heart being healed, okay? Because you know what, growing up, yeah, we were taught, okay, you prepared to be a wife, but nobody taught us how to be a helpmeet. Nobody
Come
taught
on.
us how to stand in the gap, how to intercede, how to die to yourself, how to sacrifice. Nobody told us that without God, you can't do anything. He is the true vine. And if you're not connected to him, nothing that you try to do will be able to prosper. It's going to be dead weight. It's going to be limbs that have to be pruned. So being single in this season has taught me, God, I'm placing you at the center of everything that I have gone. Now, was it easy? Let's talk about it, okay?
Okay.
Because we can talk about the times of feeling lonely, the times of being discouraged, the times of feeling like you're not good enough. But when you allow God to come in and say, God, clean me out, and he begins to minister to you and tell you how much I love you, how beautiful you are, that I'm all that you need. When the song say he's a good father, come on now. He's a good father. He's going to step in. He's going to be all that you need. So singleness has not been a terrible thing, but I also had to work to get here, because the enemy will come and give grief and make you feel inadequate. And God was like, no, not so, not my daughter.
Oh.
So,
Listen to me. Let me tell you something. This is my sister. Okay. Y'all see how she on fire? And I want y'all to know she could take this whole show. Honestly, like I told her today, she could take this whole show. But we know that we have three of us, three guests that have that that has different views and things or whatever have you. So we want to make sure that we try to balance it out a little bit for each and every one to say something. But let me tell you, she's a firecracker. Okay. She's a firecracker. And I am so proud. I'm just so proud. I am so proud. So let's move on. I wanted to ask Lernice real quick, because of course she's speaking from a different point of view. Now, how has life after marriage shaped your view of singleness and partnership?
Actually, when I first came out of marriage, I felt relieved. I felt that I have an opportunity to get it right with me. You know, while I was in marriage, I felt swallowed. I felt like I was drowning. And the way after divorce, it was like, I am now free. Now I need to go to the root of this and know why I'm feeling this way. You know, because some people said they felt I didn't have a bad divorce. He gave it to me, you know, and we talked after divorce. You know, we spoke. We are friends where, and I told him afterwards, I felt like at the point I felt bad because I was looking forward to not being married. And the reason why was because, you know, I got married because, like they said, a lot of people, oh, you getting married, you finish school, you're getting older, you're 30 something, you need this, you need that, you need a child. But
She almost
really
felt forced.
you know, and then even when you're in the church, you know, you had to little slip up and down. Let me be real. When you're fornicating, they actually trying to sell you, okay, even deep down before the wedding, I was saying, you know, let's chill for a year. And, you know, no, the Lord said this is the thing because y'all have ministry. But really and truly,
This is other people influencing you.
telling you.
Yeah.
And actuality is that when people get in the marriage, they are not there. You're there. You live in that nightmare. You live in that peace where God was talking to me and I couldn't hear his voice. He was speaking. I didn't know who he was. Now I knew I was saved before I got married. He was also a believer, but it's like other people speaking louder than God. So I took the opportunity to say, you know what I was supposed to do prior getting in a relationship, I'm now going to do. I'm going to work on my foundation. I'm going to work, like they say, know who I am, know what is my enjoyment, what make me peace. And then someone asked me the other day, what you have become now on your journey, would you choose that same mate? I would tell them no.
Ooh.
Because what happened is I got married because, hey, we had Christianity.
That's it.
We had nothing. He triggered me. I triggered him. We actually came together because we both were broken. He had a loss. I had a loss. We had a lot of things to talk about a loss. We mostly talked about loss. We mostly talked about ministry and what the Lord have us to do to talk and minister. And where the Lord spoke to me, both me and him, But at that time, I think it was the right person, but the wrong time.
Ooh.
And, if I could do it again,
Hold on, stop. Y'all, listen, single ladies, I hope y'all taking notes because it's like so many nuggets happening in these conversations already with them just saying what they have to say. Right person, wrong timing. My
wrong
God.
timing. Why? Because I was hurting. I was grieving. I had to deal with siblings. This is a new norm for me. I no longer have my crutch, my mother. I'm the child who always had privileged life. Now I had to start over from scratch of taking care of myself, being independent, trying to find my own lane in my career. All these things. Here it is. I in my marriage. I fighting to do those things where I supposed to be a wife. Where he told me at one point I had to come off my job. I don't know if you remember, I've been off my job for 2 years. He didn't want me to work. He didn't want me to advance. And then at one point I was trying to, okay, because I believe in success, I wanted him to build him into something, like I lived my life through him. I was becoming a disaster. I was triggering him and he was triggering me. So even though we had a good friendship, our friendship brought us because of the grief, the loss,
Right.
and we had a personal relationship with God, and we talk about God, and even some of our viewpoints because of family culture and church culture background, that was coming conflicting.
That's like trauma bonding.
Right. And when I left the marriage and I worked on me, I didn't really work on me right away. I just started to feel guilty and I feel a void. I started to date someone right after, and the person was triggering me. Until I had a conversation with my cousin, and he said to me, he's like, the way you responded, I think that you need to take your evaluation. And he shared some light things with me. He said, why you came out your marriage? Why you now in this relationship? But you came out. Focus.
Okay, so we can talk a little bit more about that soon, because this is good. What you're saying that you've been in this, you've been there. You said the I do's, but it was not the right time. As a single person, we get all excited, or you have the church folk, and I ain't blaming everyone, but you have family too, who would be like, girl, this the one for you. You've been, just because you've been dating with them, or just because they see you holding hands every so often or whatever, they handsome, you can look like you get pretty churn, you know what I mean? So they push you because it's the time, you're 30, why not? Right? And little do they know that you have to get to know who you are first. Allow God to mold you first. Go through the various, I don't know if you've ever done this, finding out about his past history and the things that happened to him and his father and all these other generational curses and stuff that you need to find out. Come on, we can talk about that on another. We talking about that. All right. But let's just take a quick break, right? And then when we get back, we'll continue because it's getting juicy. What someone said, trauma bonding. Right. So hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Your Lane via YouTube and Facebook. Let me see if I could read. Do you have time to read some of these things? We good? Okay. So, so of course, the Help Meet Army, I could call you this now. Since I'm referring to the Help Meet Army, Special Officer Shambia, they are out and they are supporting. All right. And of course, you have a lot of people who are agreeing with you, Lernice. So people are tuning in and they're excited about what you all have to say. Now, we want to get the singles out, man. Where the single people at, man? We want to get them because these are the ones who we want to target for today. We want to make sure that they are in tune on how to avoid things like divorce, how to avoid, being in a miserable marriage because you didn't do the work first,
right?
And Deshambia spoke about that. You have to do the inner work first. You have to know who God has called you to be, who you are, spending time with him, allowing him to be daddy, allowing him to be father, allowing him to be a husband first prior to saying I do. Yeah. Anyone have any shout outs while we on our commercial break on the radio? Real quick.
I want to shout Y'all, I see my Uncle Quentin online, y'all. He don't even like Facebook. Hey, Uncle, all the blunts.
Uncle,
Then he said,
Uncle
"Go, baby
Quentin.
girl." Yes, he did. Okay.
I
Love
love
you.
it. I love it.
Okay, help me, Army. Hey,
Yep.
y'all.
Yep. Help me, sisters. Listen, for those who are tuning in who's not in Help Me Army, whenever you see those boots, that's boots to the ground. Okay. Something about them boots, man. Like when you see them, you just have that extra boost of energy. Be like, yeah,
Yeah.
we out here. Right?
Right,
I love it.
right.
I love it. Something but them boots, boy.
Look, there you go.
So yeah.
I know General on.
Yeah, I saw General Yvette. Thank you for tuning in, ma'am. Blessing to you. All right, we're still on our commercial break. So, I mean, it's amazing how every one of us have different ways or different journeys, but we still end up saying, look, you can't do this without knowing who you are. You
Mhm.
cannot do this because it's like you, oh, there we go. Hello and welcome back. For those who are tuning in with us, we are just listen. This show is just skyrocketing at the moment. We have three beautiful single ladies that are talking to us about their journeys of being single. Of course, finding out or teaching us or telling us those who are, I say in us, teaching others, those who are single, about knowing who you are, and finding out what your likes and dislikes are, finding out more about yourself, tuning into the word of God and allowing God to mold you so that you don't have to bleed on someone else or trying to find who you are in someone else. And I recall Lernice, who has been divorced before, she actually shared, hey, I'm trying to find my identity in my ex-husband, right? That was just torture for her. So I'm gonna ask, let's talk about healing in this process, right? Let's talk about healing here. Now, Deshambi, you said that you were single for 2 years now, right? Correct? Right. Come on. I don't know. Now, hold on now. You could always stop me because we didn't discuss this prior to saying. So this is something that I want to know if you're able to share, in reference to, the breakup process. Have you healed from that? And what have you learned from your previous relationship, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, I will also reiterate that healing is a process, just like deliverance. So you have to continuously
ongoing
seek that. It's ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I think after my breakup, it was more so that initially you would think it's the other person, but God, and listen, at the same time, I joined the Help Me Army. So I would say that has been very integral. I mean, very important with me getting healed and learning to heal quicker. So I would say it's ongoing, and it wasn't easy, but one thing I prayed, and I'll never forget, I was on my knees in my apartment and I was like, Lord, if you just heal my heart, like I promise, I will give you a yes. Cause you know how you just be so desperate?
Yeah.
Like it's like somebody took my heart and ripped it apart. And I thought it was probably his fault, but guess what? It was me. One thing about the army that taught me, what did you do? What is God saying for you? We like to blame other people as if our healing and our happiness and our joy is locked up in others, but it's not. You're in control of that. And a lot of times it's because you are outside of the will of God. So like I think Lernice said earlier about fornicating. Okay, let's talk about the doors that are open, and then we're wondering why we're in bondage or going through the things that we're going through. So I had to learn. I had to recommit my life back to God, and I had to say, this time around, I'm not gonna play. This time around, I'm giving you everything that's within me, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So even when it came to perfectionism, trying to check off these boxes, I'm doing things that I thought he liked, and he like, I don't even care about that. But then I'm feeling rejected because he don't like it. But did you seek the time, one, to figure out what you like, but are you even in tune with what your king or your future king even wants? So it was just so much learning that I had to do on my part, that it's just a continual process.
I love that. I love that. It's a continual process. So for those who may have had, previous relationships where you broke up for whatever reason, like Tashambia stated, hey, we always putting the blame on others,
Yeah.
right? What have you done? Or what are some things that you can work on in this time and in this process? And um are we gonna go there? Let's go there. Day, because you're real. You're real day. You're real.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's talk about she made a statement about, most of the times we come out of the will of God. This is so profound because I found this to be true in my life prior to getting married as well. It's like we get so caught up with this um this individual, right? That
Mhm.
we don't even look properly at the red flags. We don't look at, we don't because we blind because he fine, he's gorgeous. All right. So we don't look at those things, right? And so in that, we get so caught up that we actually have him as an idol. So much so that we know good and well as believers that we ain't supposed to be giving up our bodies, right? Because when we do that, that's when our ears somehow get clogged up because we don't get to be hearing God because we ain't in the will of God, right? So so we make poor judgments and poor decision making, almost to the point where I don't think I've ever shared this publicly, but I was about he's laughing at me. Who said that? Erica said he don't always be
Yeah,
fine,
sometimes
but
he'll
he
be
gotta
fine
have
for real.
something. It gotta be something. But it may not be him being fine. What else it could be? His
Mental
personality.
stimulation.
Right, mental stimulation,
is a real thing.
financial stability,
Yeah.
right? He might be funny because I like
Yeah.
humor, right?
And
Not
He's good.
Sometimes you're trying to force the thing because like you don't want to be lonely.
that, right? So we get into all these different things when God is literally doing the flag like this for us, like he praise dancing with the red flag, all right? But then we ain't getting it because he fine, or he got money, or he make me laugh, or I'm lonely. So how do you deal with situations like that? T? That's not actually the question I wanted to ask. I want to talk about fornication, but of course we'll talk about this.
Child, that's a hard question. I don't know how to deal with it. And I'm still working on it. And God's still working on me. How about that? I really don't know. But sometimes we have to take a step back. The truth is, we have to take a step back when we see certain things happening and ask ourselves, how did we handle this in the past?
Right.
And, you look at the mistakes that you made and you're like, I don't want to do that again. So you have to be aware of yourself. And a lot of times, like Miss Blunt said, we put it on other people, but we have to look within ourselves for what the truth is within us and say, hey, I know what I need to do to get over this. And this doesn't work for me. And listen, I know what it's like to be dating someone and people be like, girl, you look good. You need to make that work and all this stuff. And I'm like, but I don't feel it. You're trying to feel it and I feel it. And then you like forcing yourself into a thing. And that's really not good. And we have to learn to listen to that voice that tells us these things. And we trust our heart and we trust our head, but you gotta trust your gut because your gut ain't never gonna lie to you. So you have to listen to that thing that's in you that's telling you, hey, I don't care how much money this person have, how funny they are, how whatever it may be. I have to pull myself back because this ain't feel good to me. It
This
don't
ain't
feel
right.
genuine. It don't feel smooth. And I think most of us we want organic. Personally, I am terrible at faking. If I ain't like you, you can know. So, and I even when I feel like I'm doing a good job at being smooth, and I'm like, but certain things about this I may like. Yeah, they gonna know.
They gonna know.
They
You
gonna
don't have
know.
a poker face.
No, I
Not at
don't.
all.
Yeah, like you said, I'm real.
Yeah,
So
that's why I like you. I like you because you're real. But listen, let me tell you something. Even your gut is lie sometimes. All right. I mean, the heart is deceiving. I can say that for a fact.
take probiotics. That got.
Listen to me. Listen, for singles out there, honestly, I just want to share that, hey, ask God for the signs. Ask him to reveal what needs to be revealed. That's what I did. And what I wanted to say prior to the question I was going to ask is that I did have a counterfeit prior to my husband. There was a prophet who actually came to me, this lady at my church at that time, that she stick her finger in my face and tell me don't do it. She said, God has someone for you. He said to wait. I mean, and she, like, I didn't know what to do with that information because she didn't even come in love. She was like, she wanted to tear my head off. Like, that's how, I guess, how heavy it was on her. Because this man, we was looking for townhouses and things. We was ready. There's a Caucasian one with curly hair. Y'all know how Bahamians like curly hair, man. Right? So, remember? So I was like, man, I thought this was the one. He nice. You know, I didn't take him home to Shambi. I took him home to mommy and all. You know what I mean? And the lady said to me, she stick her finger in my face. She said, God said to wait on the Lord, you know? And sometimes you just have to do that. You have to sit and wait. You have to wait. What does waiting look like to you, Lernice?
Well,
How do you define waiting?
you know, I just like to put it out there. People think waiting is painful. By nature, the human nature, we are impatient. And I think that's what gets us in a lot of trouble because we have to step out the box and say, move beyond society, what the world say in the norm. We have to find who we are. Like, for instance, after my divorce, like I said, I knew the Lord. In that, I try to navigate. You know, you have a process. Everybody process is different. And sometimes I found my process. I had a guy who was the second guy I dated after my divorce. And he was divorced twice. And I asked him, you know, he was there when I actually went to my divorce. And I asked him some questions. And I said, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to go through a divorce a second time. I said, why did you went? And he said, because I didn't want to be lonely and I was impatient. And I sat back in the restaurant and I looked at him and I said, you know, that's sometimes was the problem. And he said, what do Lernice want?
He's asking you this.
He said, I want you to pick a spot in your house. Because he know being in my home, he see stickers. I had a prayer room where I put stickers, where I turn like Hezekiah to the wall and I travail and I speak to God. And he said, you know, sometimes you got to go back in your prayer closet and you got to write down all what is your goal from a child, what it was speaking to you. And I took that time and an opportunity where I start to focus on my career. I said, you know what? Let me focus on my career. Let me work on perfecting my professionalism. What do I want to do? Do I want to be an entrepreneur? Do I want to be on people's job to give Caesar, to make them richer? Or do I take the wisdom from them, what I've learned, where they're training me, and one day at a season, a point in time, I will be walking to my own? And that's what I did. And I got education, any opportunity I educate. I perfect that. I go on a job, and my journey, every job I go on is a step higher. And it brought enjoyment. And then I worked and got myself in a good Christian-based church, Bible-based church, not prophetic, Bible-based church that teach me and also deals with deliverance, renouncing, denouncing. And
so waiting for you,
right,
like just evolving in your goals,
in my goals, in my spiritual growth.
Right.
And then I realized that, you know, by going out, there was a point in time when I was hurting in my journey, I was partying hard. I was going over the young girls at work. I was partying. And partying for me was not to say suppress a pain. It was because I loved to dance. And I looked at it like, even when I was in marriage, we never go out. We never dated. We only come together when there was time for church and time to heal. So I couldn't be who I am. Everybody know, even on my job, they know if I hear music, I prance it from the kitchen and I walk in through and I walk and I move, I spin and run. They're used to me. Oh, I have a praise and worship going on. But I could have enjoyed me. And really and truly at this point in time, I'm not lonely. Lonely is just a state of mind. I just don't have time for me.
Right. Oh, gee.
You know, and then by my journey and what I've done after, so many people I'll talk to will come to me and say, I need you to help, give me advice of this. So I become a counselor.
Right.
So it's like,
so waiting for you
it's also
helping
ministry.
others.
Yes, like ministry.
I love that.
So
I love that.
My journey, and they're coming to me to help them. And it's so funny what I've been through. they're going through
Mhm.
and they don't understand. So it brought clarity to them and how to walk them through.
Okay, I love that. I love that. Let me ask Deshambia that same question. Deshambia, what does thank you, Lernies, for that?
Welcome.
Because people need to know that. People need to know that, hey, while I'm waiting, I could go and educate myself. You know, I could evolve in my thought processes, you know, in my education, in my spiritual life and growth, etc., while I wait. Right? So I love that, Lernies. Deshambia, what does waiting look like for you? What is the definition of that for you? As a
So
single lady.
a scripture comes to mind, okay?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
this allow patience to have its perfect work. And
Mhm.
so a lot of times waiting could seem like it's unbearable, but that's the time where God is building. So for me, it's preparation, it's building, it's me learning what I loved. And I agree with, you know, some of what Lernice said, figuring out what you like. Like I take myself on dates normally on Sundays, you know, going places by myself that I never did things like that because I love people. I was always around people. Now, while I'm waiting, I find solitude is like the best thing. I like to be home and I like to read books versus bouncing and bopping in the streets. No, I want to rest, you know. I want to just enjoy my time with God because I realize how can I, you know, be, with my desire to get married and knowing that that's what God called me to, how can I be a helpmeet or a wife to someone that I haven't even submitted to God yet?
Come
So
on.
in my waiting, it's me submitting to my Father and allowing him to be Lord, not just being my Savior, but being Lord over my life. So even when a mate comes, I can hear the Lord say, that's him. And guess what? I'm going to be ready. Okay.
Come on.
That's
I
right.
love it. I love it. Day, what you saying over there? Right? You said that you're in a relationship now, right?
Girl.
I don't get too much in your business, right? But I mean, like you said, it be marriage, divorce, single.
Mhm.
So you still single like
I'm
that a
single.
little bit till
Yeah.
you say I do
I'm
or get
single.
engaged. Okay, you single because I
my,
don't.
my hand's still empty.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I won't tread on that lightly because I don't want nobody, you know, y'all ain't coming for me, sis. But in this time of, you know, you dating, right? Can I use dating?
Yes, dating.
Yeah. What are some things that I gotta watch out how I ask this question because this person might come for me. I don't want them to come for me, but just let's talk about you then. Let's talk about some red flags that you think that you should be working on for yourself.
What I know is dating is hard. Like it's not easy. And the older you get, the more difficult it becomes because I'm set in my ways. If I'm meeting someone who's my age or maybe older, they're set in their ways. So now we have to come together and we have to compromise and we have to figure out, can I deal with these things? Are we going to be able to cohabitate? You know, because at 43 years old, I like what I like. And where I am a very free spirited person, I still have to, you know, navigate my way through these things. So for me, I have to look at certain things and know what I can deal with. We have to be honest with ourselves. Sometimes we go into these relationships and we say, oh, well, if that's what he like, then I'll do it. And then in a year or two, you find yourself miserable because you don't really like doing that. You don't like certain things that this person wants you to do and the limitations that they may put on you. So you have to be able to truly recognize when a carnival going on with the flags to say, hey, there's still carnivalish and I really like carnival like that, you know? So you have to be able to recognize these flags and recognize it for yourself and shut out the outside noises. There's definitely a lot of outside noise because you feel like, well, I'm this age. And then especially if your birthday is coming up and you'd be like, oh my God, how did I get this age? And I didn't do this, 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 and this. And you're ticking off these things and you get anxiety or you get depressed or you just get in a really sullen mood and you don't know why it's happening. So we have to recognize the signs. I ain't letting nobody swing me no more with no child. Anybody can make me laugh. I can make myself laugh. I need a funny man.
Audrey.
Period. So it's just certain things like I know what I like.
You know who you are now.
I know who I am.
Right.
I honestly took the time out. People don't understand why I do certain things that I do, but I took the time out for me to learn and understand me. And that sometimes that takes you away from everyone else. That takes you out of what people can comprehend as making logical sense for them. You have to do what it is that you have to do for you. And And when you make that decision that you're going to understand yourself, you have to stick to it. You can't let any, person come along and change you or make you change your mind from the things that you've already realized that this is how I set it up for myself. Because men will try to do that. They will get you to stray from the boundaries that you've set for yourself. And so you just have to learn to stick to your boundaries, and you have to learn to recognize when someone's trying to force their way through it.
So in this dating process, are you dating for marriage purposes? Or are you just dating because it's something to do?
Girl, I am 43. I do not have time to waste.
What?
I mean, whatever that means, right? Like, still no time frame on myself
Right.
at all.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is, I'm dating because I want a long-term, lifelong relationship
Right.
and marriage.
And
yes.
hopefully ending.
And of course, marriage. Yes,
the
that's
end result.
essentially what it is that I want. I guess that's what I'm supposed to want.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
All right. Now, Deshambi, you're not dating now, right? Or what are you doing? How are you out there?
Absolutely not.
No. So in this time where you're waiting, Lernies, are you dating now?
No, I'm waiting on the Lord.
You waiting on the Lord. Okay, now you can't wait on the Lord sitting inside your room, right? So I want y'all to talk to the singles, because you can't. Not saying that God can't have him come in to be the owner of something or trying to help with the plumbing or something in your house. I can't say that's not possible, because he could be the gardener or something like that. But at some point, you have to come out your house. Right? You have to go places. You have to still dress up, take care of yourself, and go places. Now, the Shambia says she still go and she go on dates and stuff like that. So that's good. So she's coming out. Are you coming out of the house, Lernies?
Listen, let me be real with you. When God have appointed time for that mate to come, you don't know when your footsteps are ordered to be at the right place at the right time. You don't have to. God don't need your help. I have a brother who I stood in their wedding last year. His godmother went to his mother and said, I have a lady that I would like to introduce him to. Is he seeing anyone? And she was in the home in her room studying, being a resident at Princess Margaret. She's doing an internship as a doctor and praying to the Lord. And the Lord told her to stand still. He home serving the Lord, asking God for his wife. They use a divine helper who is his godmother. Went to his mother to get his number to give it in exchange. They both met. Even all that time he was going to the house, to the god sister, she was in the room for 2 years. Then that not until the appointed time, until they use a destiny helper, okay, to actually, and they both came and said, you know what, we don't want to waste God time. Let's go in fasting. They both went to God. God gave them the answer, and they're married. And they're both Christians and full in ministry, and they're young people. So I'm saying God don't really need our help. We could go in the food store and just be at a point in time. God will come to you when you have a personal relationship and say, this is what you're going to do. This is what he's going to do. And he's going to tell you, because what? Your mate should be purpose, destiny, purpose to building up the kingdom of God. Okay? That's when I said that my husband was the right one, but at the wrong timing. We both were broken, trauma, but if we get the healing, because we both had ministry and both of us knew our calling, but we didn't work on ourselves as individuals. We were two broken people. We should have become whole first. That's the place I'm to now, whole. That when my mate come, he only compliments me. I don't need him to actually do a work in me. I'm doing that now. Because with or without him, I'm in ministry. I'm ministering. We both coming together to make a whole. Two whole people becoming as a whole person, and complementing one another, enjoying one another, and strengthening and building one another. Okay. And that's, I feel that as single women, we should. So it ain't necessary to say, because I had that concept too. Oh, I going out there to be available. You get yourself in problems.
Now, hold on. Now, maybe you misinterpret what I said. Yeah. Not going out there to be available.
Right.
But just being out there. You still want to date. You still want to go to church. You still want to go and do things. Yes, he could find you anywhere. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. He could find you anywhere.
But a lot of women get that concept, because I've talked to a lot of women and they be like, oh, we have to go out. We have to do this. We have to do that. I didn't met my husband out there. I met him on the job.
But you came out your house.
Yeah, but I was on my job.
Yeah, but what I'm
you know-
saying is, don't just stay inside your house.
Right.
That is my point.
But that's what some people, I'm going to bring it from a different angle, because some people literally feels like they should stay
I
in
get
their
it.
house.
I
Because
get
I'm
it.
telling you, the woman says, I'm a Christian. I don't party. I don't do this and I do that.
You
And
don't
I would
have to
say,
party.
you know, he's going to come to you and walk up to you in the food store.
Yes.
You got to come out and
Take a
do,
break.
you know. So I just wanted to, because from my experience from talking to people,
Mhm.
I understand where you're coming from. But some of them, when it's your time and appointed time, if you're hearing the Lord and seeking the Lord, He's going to order your footsteps. Trust me.
I agree with you.
And Trish, can
I
I
agree.
say something?
We're gonna take a quick break. Sorry, Tashambi, this is my producer was doing this all day for me just now in that couple of seconds. So if you want, we could share it on our break, or you want to wait till we go on the radio. That's up to you. But let's take a break, beats, and then we go right from there. You want to share it now on the Facebook?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I
Okay.
think
Can
just
you
like
hold
what
on?
Nee said,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
you know, just agreeing with what Lernie said, I think one thing we have to keep in mind is that we have to seek the Lord. And
Right.
regardless of whenever he brings or whatever, you know, our spouse or we need to be ready, you know, because some of us know who our mates are, you know, some of us don't. We have yet, but are we seeking the Lord for his perfect will? Because listen, we desire a lot of stuff. You know, the Bible says there's a way that seemeth right. But it leads to destruction. So we can be sitting, we can be praying, but where is our heart posture? It ultimately needs to be God, not to be married. And that's how some of us were brought up, like, oh, I need to be married, or be, you know, filling a void. Oh, I got to have somebody. So we go and chase. I agree with Lanice. I don't feel you got to go out the house, you know, or anything. But I meet a lot of men, a lot. Okay. But because of where I'm at and my discernment, I can meet somebody and the Lord be like, run. It ain't him. Run. Okay. So I think ultimately we have to have that desire and a heart posture towards God. Ultimately, and towards fulfilling our purpose for him. The help, the husband, when y'all come together, you have to reign in dual dominion. So if you're not ready to be in dual dominion, it's pointless. It's pointless.
That part. And I'm glad that you shared that, because that's the ultimate goal. You know, you're not just dating just for dating's sake, you know. So you want to say, okay, well, if I'm doing this, and this is someone who God, as Lernie says, God's directing your footsteps, who God has ordained, and say, okay, well, you know, I've given you that peace to say that this is the person that I want you to be, to marry. You know what I mean? So, of course, we go back in the break. So, of course, you would want to know that, hey, I want dual dominion. This is the end goal, regardless of whatever comes our way, whatever hiccups that may follow or come in between. At the end of the day, this is for purpose sake. And we're doing this for purpose, right?
Perfect.
Ready? Welcome back. Look, y'all, for those who are on the radio, we had a whole topic in itself, all right, about just waiting and asking God to order our steps, and just knowing that, hey, the end result in all of this as a single person is dual dominion. And all right, so I stand corrected, because, you know, initially I was saying, okay, well, you have to come out your house for that person to find you. Well, then again, I was saying he could be a plumber or whomever, you could be in your house as well, but you don't have to be out of your house. But then still I on the fence on this. There's like, you ain't really you just ain't going out there looking for him. He looking for you, first of all. But then at the end of the day, you don't want to just be dry up in your house. I still stand on not just staying in your house. I'm sorry, I gotta stick with that. All right, I still stand on that. But then you know, that's just me. Pete said it don't matter what you do, right? Because you have some people who meet their spouses online, right? In their house, right?
Yes.
Go ahead, Beats. Yeah, it's gonna find you. I love that. Okay.
Because I have a friend who been married for 15 years, and her and her husband met on Facebook, on Messenger.
Yeah, people do dating sites and stuff like that. Dave. Now, I know you said that you're dating now, but even in that, I know it comes with pursuing purpose, because you're doing so many things out there,
Yeah.
as a travel consultant, as a host for game nights and all these different things. Do you feel as if even in your dating that is hindering you in any way in doing what they want as far as pursuing, purpose and goals?
Well, I
Your
think
purpose and goals?
when you find the right person, it's nothing that's going to be hindering you. It's going to help you to get to the goals that you are working towards. That person is going to be there to help you to achieve those goals or in alignment with what it is that you're doing, essentially, not necessarily help, because I don't need anyone to help me to do those things, right? But they're in alignment. So you don't have to worry that, oh, this is taking away too much. Like, I've dated someone and he told me that he doesn't like my job. I work as a private chef. He told me he need me to be home when he come home from work at 5 o'clock. And I'm like, if I'm a chef and I cooking dinner and they eating dinner at 6, 7, how am I gonna be home? So clearly this is not the person for me, right? So, you have to be able to, you have to stay aware of the things that these people are saying, and you have to trust that when people say something, they 9 times out of 10 they mean it. And yeah, the biggest problem for us was he wanted me to be home, stand up in the kitchen cooking for him, not cooking for somebody else. I'm like, what, sir? But these are the things, right?
Child.
So dating, like I keep telling people, like this water is more than just muddy, but but that doesn't mean that there aren't good people out there.
That
I
that
think
part.
I see friends that I have a few friends that are still single, and I see the good qualities in them. We're just sometimes not meeting the right person for us, because sometimes desperation and other things, like just to feel like you just have to be at a certain point, may push you to be with someone that may not be the right person for you. They may look good on paper,
Mm-hmm.
but the reality is, when you are in that life, it's not aligning. Like sometimes you date someone and they have ideals of what a marriage should look like or their relationship should look like, but in reality it doesn't pan out. And you have to see that, yes, ideally things would work this way in a perfect world. We do not live in a perfect world. You are not perfect, I am not perfect. I like to think that I am, but I know that I'm
Oh
not,
Lord.
right? So I mean, I think that we personally, we tend to see the best things about ourselves, and we want to see the best things in people too. I mean, most people, I think, try to see the best things in people, but we still have to be aware of those other things that stop, that give you pause, and you realize, yeah, you know what, this may not be the thing, and it may seem simple to other people and be like, girl, work with that, but it ain't simple for you. That hurting you, that breaking your heart to do certain things, right? So you have to be aware. And this is why I'm going to say again, you have to find that peace within yourself, that comfort in yourself. Because if you have to walk away and you be like, oh, but y'all already put in all these months or years or whatever. Okay. But look at me. I put in my whole life into me. I have to walk away feeling good about it. I don't want to put myself in a marriage to end up in divorce. I don't think anyone wants to be divorced.
No.
And so for me, I think that I ran a lot of times from periods where I could have been married, but I'm like, "Ugh, it's something that I ain't feeling too good about this, and I have to walk away. And I'm not going to put myself in that position, because, baby, when you see me get married, we have to work that out. Hook or crook, hell or high water, we gonna do it.
I love your transparency and all of that. I really do. And I have other questions I want to ask you, but I don't want to get all your business out there because you are currently dating, so I have to be mindful of that. But I do want to ask Shambia is, you have some women out there who are discouraged because they feel as if, okay, I'm praying and I'm asking God for this mate, and it's not happening. I have my answers haven't been granted. I mean, my request hasn't been granted as yet, and I'm fed up. What can you possibly say to someone who's in that state of mind?
Check your heart posture. Your focus is on that spouse instead of God. And when there is a shift, when your mind is renewed, God will begin to show you some things that could be hindering. What I'm learning is I didn't ask enough questions. I did the routine, I pray, I went to church, you get into your routine, but God wants to go deeper. He wants to launch you out into the deep, meaning he wants you to dig a little deeper and let's get some of this nastiness out so that he can make room for you to be able to receive that which he has for you. He desires to do exceedingly and abundantly, but if we ain't got room for it, how he gonna do it?
Come on.
So I think when we shift our perspective to really seek his will and not our own, the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom, then everything else will be added. We allow culture to dictate what should and should not be in our life. We allow culture to say, and myself included, I was supposed to be married at 25. I had 4 kids by now. I had my whole life planned out, but that wasn't the will of God. That's what Tashambia wants. So as I began to really seek God, what is your will for me? And then he begins to say, okay, this is what I have for you, because before I was even formed in my mother's womb, he knew me. He had already orchestrated my plans. We sought the Lord to say, God, you knew me before I was here. Can you show me who she is? Can you show me what it is that you will have for Tashambia to do? Like, I desire this and I want this, but is now even the time? And he will begin to show you when you seek him with your whole heart. The Bible says, call unto me and I will show you great and mighty things that you don't know. There are things that he desired to commune, to talk to us about, to show us, but are you ready? Because if we got blinders on, if we're like Saul running down that road, we so focused, got that tunnel vision. This is what I'm going. How can we hear what God says or who God sends us when we have this idea of this is this person? This is what he looks like. I want him to drive this car. I want him to be able to take care of me. But what if God has all of that for you? But it's going to take you maybe 2 years because it has to be cultivated.
Come on.
He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor. Are you in position to be the favor that this man needs? Because he may come and he not even be ready. So again, it's not to say even through the delay does not mean denial. The delay or could mean there is still more work that needs to be done, but seek the Lord while he yet may be found. He is theirs. And he says, see, if you seek me, you shall find me. So to me, that's what I wish I learned a long time ago, that the mothers of the church, I didn't spend enough time with them to actually glean, to figure out how does this thing really work? You know what I mean? I was out here doing what culture says, what Instagram says, so just seeking God for the answer. And guess what? It's going to be directly opposite of what you ever thought. That was my story.
I love that. Yeah. And that's actually my story as well. As far as, I took heed to the prophet, right? As the word of God tells us to, we in fact, we understand that, hey, taking heed to God and taking heed to the prophet is profitable, right? And so I waited. It was hard. It was there were times that there were other counterfeits around and distractions or whatever have you, but I still waited. I sought the Lord, and I was doing me. I was learning about Trishawn, similar to what Tashambia stated, and I was getting to know who I am through him and his eyes, and knowing who I am and my identity in Christ. All right. I wasn't looking for no one. At that point, I'd even forgotten to even desire that. I did have a list, I must admit, but that list had nothing to do with what was given to me, because what I thought was bright skin, curly hair. I don't know. My grandparents taught me, but the bright skin, curly hair. I'm glad that I didn't, and that's just my preference then. But I had it was all materialistic things for me back then. That list. All right. The only thing that made sense is, of course, that he knows God. That was probably the only thing that truly made sense on that list. Everything else was just materialistic. But God gave me beyond what I thought I needed and wanted. And keep them in, sis. Waiting is a blessing, you and me. When you wait on God, you could go back whenever you have, because I'm in it. I'm presently in it. I'm 17 years in this. And I could say that because I waited on him, I could always go back and say, God, this is who you told me. Whenever I'm in my deepest state, when I feel as if I can't, because you have your little up and down moments, you have your little trials and tribulations in marriage. All right. You could go back and say, God, this is your son. You know what I mean? I need your help. I need your help to show me what to do. I need your wisdom to direct me on knowing what to do. And he does it. And he will do it. And he will continue to do it because that's just who he is. So here it is that I'm his daughter and that's his son. And listen, I can make sure we can work this out and y'all continue this process called marriage because I have plans for both of you. All right. Because we're presently walking in that process of dual dominion. So of course you have to understand that, hey, this is what God has granted me. This is beyond, oh, he doesn't put the toilet seat down. You know how women get up. Oh, he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that. This is purpose. So when you get in that mind state of knowing that, hey, this is beyond, oh, the good looks and the curly hair, because man, my husband got good looks and curly hair too, by the way. Listen, God ain't leave me out, right? But I'm just saying, right? But, okay, all right. So it's like he still got you. He got you.
He agreed.
Just wait on him.
Yeah.
Wait. All right. I just wanted to put that there, right? Let's talk about the fact that you're now single. What are you doing in the singleness, or can you make? Because Lernie said, she actually has ministry out of this. She's actually counseling other people, etc. What are you doing in your singleness, Day? Anything that you feel as if God is using you in this time while you're you're dating but you're still single?
Yeah, I'm dating and single, but I'm using this time to work on me. I'm working on my career. I transitioned my career, and it's a difficult process, but it's something that I needed to do for me. And so I am learning a new version of myself, right? And so I'm taking this single time to date, but not only date, I date myself. Like other people say, like sometimes I take myself out. I work hard. I'm like, I deserve little appetizers and a drink, and I'm gonna go and have my favorite, mocktail. and get me some appetizers. And I'm gonna sit at a bar by myself because that's what I want to be. Like, that's weird. It's weird. Did you go to the movies by yourself? I'm like,
I love it.
This is what I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Shoshana, I travel by myself. I love me a little solo travel, and that ain't gonna stop no time soon. So I just take the time to continue to understand myself, to give myself grace that I hadn't given myself before, because so many years I've been forcing myself into a mold that society and culture has deemed as the most important thing for me to do.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
I love it. I love it. Tashambi, can you share a time when God used your singleness for something significant, like ministry, or in your career, or in any process of your life, or in somebody else's life? I mean, because you're doing that now, by the way, because you literally ministering to people now, all y'all, by the way.
Yeah, like
go ahead.
Like it's whatever. I think had I not been single, I wouldn't be able to walk into who God is calling me to be. And I'm still learning that individual. I have yet to see what God has for me, or even to know the magnitude in which he desires to use me. So me being single is me being available. So even when he does bring my future PPK, when he ready, your girl gonna be ready too. So ministry, absolutely 100%. I do have a passion and a desire for, just for singles, for the younger women as well, so that we don't have to wait. Like, again, I'm going to give a shout out to the best mentoring group ever. This Help Me Army has literally changed my life. Absolutely. And it's so much information that we're learning, and in the process of walking out, that had we have known this sooner, okay, so many lives would be different. I think it would save us so much heartache, so that we can get it right the first time. And even when we sense trouble It's all about what did God say ultimately.
God
What
say?
did God say? Because he's going to honor his word. So for me, definitely ministry. When I'm at work, the same thing, ministry. So it's just I feel like every area of my life, this right here has caused me to submit to God in ways that I never knew even existed. Because again, we get churchy, we get religious, we do certain things and do routines, not knowing that God is like, I am just not in that. You okay? Like, can you wake up and ask me what I have for you today? Okay, even driving to work, don't go this way. I need you to go this other way because it's an accident that's about to happen, and I need you to get where you got to go safely. So I just think just having that relationship with God just helps deter so much nonsense, unnecessary warfare that we don't have to do or go through.
I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. And just that connection with God in itself, like you said, that you're in the army, so it's teaching you so many different things, and in that people are watching you, and I know you know that people are watching. Let's see how Shambi is acting at work. Let's see how she's dealing with this. She ain't got no man. Let me see how she acting. Let me see if she can still go out with no man. The fact that you are still dating yourself, still taking care of yourself, because you're beautiful, your hair still on point, your face on point and everything, right? Yes. Okay. All right. So it's good to see that, it's good to see that, even if it is something that may be an issue, even if it was an issue, we can't see that on your face. We can't see that by your appearance, and that's a beautiful thing. Lernie stated that she ministers to others, so even in her singleness, the things that she may have had happened in the past with her marriage or her divorce, it is actually a ministry where she can talk to other people about it. Lernie, you want to just elaborate a little bit on that?
Like I have friends who have the desire, women, it's always a fairy tale where we watch movies and say this our life's supposed to plan out.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, you had a child and you put the horse before the carriage.
Mhm.
You had the child and the relationship didn't work out. So the lady is broken. So they was like, what about me? And they had all kind of different factors. And I had to get to the place with them and say, what is God saying to you? What is, do you know who you are through him? Because through him we find our identity. He created us for a purpose and for a reason, and I feel like that's something I start with, that foundation, because every child have a dream. And what do you like? Some people don't even know what they like and what do they want. So how could they even get a relationship and get in talk about marriage if they don't even know, identify who they are?
Mhm.
Some of them don't even know their family history. Some don't even know their background and still hurting by that and saying, I carry this person name, but I don't know. But you have to work on that foundation first, getting that solid. And that only comes through Jesus Christ. That was my channel, my relationship. So a lot of that, people come in through church or a friend of a friend say, well, I spoke to this lady. Could you speak with me? And by share my life, and people judge the book as its cover. They'll look at me and say, well, you look like you got it together. Who wouldn't want you? Yes, but I was a disaster also. I did damage also. I was pretty outside, but I was really broken and damaged. So hurt people.
That part.
And I said I had to begin to love Christ first and realize that, hey, he loved me so much. He put his son on the cross to die. I wouldn't put my child on the cross, and he did that for me. So let me get to know this God. Let me get to know who he is and what he's saying about me. And that's when the Holy Spirit started to tell you who you are. And then the Holy Spirit, with that intimacy of spending time with the Holy Spirit, he will show you a glimpse of your purpose, what you're made and what you're supposed to do. And then when he tell you that, you get excited. I'm talking to the church ladies now. You get excited because you get prophecies or about this made. It comes in part. It even will, some people will prophet lie. And you'll go on that prophet lie and you'll be entangled, and the man might have been who God had for you, but you blind because you're on this prophet lie, and it's important that you have this relationship where the Holy Spirit draws you.
Mhm.
And I will say that's my first thing with them. Build your relationship with God so you can know who you are.
I love that. I love that. That's some wise counsel right there because a lot of people don't get that. You do have a lot of people from the family members, church members, etc., who prophesy. That is true. You have a lot of people who speak into some other couples, especially young couples, to say, "Hey, the Lord tell me that's your husband, or the Lord tell me that." I have had women on my show, Tashambia, who are presently divorced because their pastor told them that the usher or their whomever was the husband for that particular individual. They never sought the Lord. They never sought the Lord. Or somebody else said they married. I had right in, and you
Yep.
were on one of the shows, right?
Yep.
They had a dream that this person was their husband, and so they went and they married the person, and they're presently divorced. Now, I'm not saying, however God does it, God does it. But all I'm saying to you, for those who are listening and single women, please seek the Lord for yourself. Please hear from God for yourself before somebody else comes and tell you something and you just run with that. Please. That's what I wanted to say. We're going to take a quick break. Beat? No? Let me just wrap this up then, because we can't do no break. Because I want to ask them a question real quick. If your future husband is taking this long, let me ask Tashambia first, right? What do you think he's doing right now? What do you think he's doing right now, Tashambia?
I don't know if I need to plead the fifth or what. I would say he is taking time to get to know himself and to heal. I believe he desires to be whole and healed, and I believe that that's what he's doing.
I love that. Let me ask Lernice the same question. If your future husband is taking this long, what do you think he's doing right now?
I feel like he's preparing himself. He's in preparation also. He's getting work done on himself, that he was going to perfect him, and that we all both will be on the same wavelength. We'll be equal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there you're dating, so I know how you can answer this
I
question.
know just how I gonna answer it.
Come on, honey.
Okay, so the man was looking for me and he came and he found me. He found me standing up randomly in a store.
Oh,
And I was in dress and I was in nothing. So people will find you wherever you are.
yes.
Mhm.
And, he said that he looked at me and he was going to walk away. And he was like, yeah, she probably didn't talk to me or whatever. But then he took the chance and he talked to me and like immediately it was a link. And I'm like,
Okay then.
okay. And the thing about it is when I woke up that morning, I felt it in my spirit and I knew that it was going to happen. And that was just confirmation for me. And I still was going to brush it away because I have a way of doing that.
Oh, gee.
But persistence. And I was like, well, he finds a wife. Let's just go with that.
Let's go with that.
So he was looking for me, child. He was getting himself together so he could find me.
I love that.
All right.
All right, and I can leave that alone because y'all too nosy. All right, y'all too nosy.
There you go.
Okay, so their future husband. ... Let's go to Shambia.
Oh, dear future husband.
Come on.
I am prepared, getting ready, and I am excited about what the Lord is going to do for our future. It may seem like it's been a long time coming, but he said you have yet to see the fullness and the greatness that he has for the both of us, and we shall walk into dominion.
I love it. I love it. Their future husband, Lernice.
Well, their future husband, purpose, ministry, and enjoyment. That's all about it. I'm still enjoying my singleness. Sometimes I do, but at this point in time, I can't see their future husband. I'm still in my preparation stage.
Okay, that's fine. Their future husband, Day.
Dear future husband, I have done all of the things that I felt like I needed to do, and I am continuing to walk in that path. And in the destination being alignment, I see you. I know you see me. Let's make this happen.
Oh, all right. Okay, listen, Tashambi, I don't know if you're reading the comments, because listen, let me tell y'all something. You can have a big bridal what did I say it again? A big bridal party or a bunch of guests, because the hype from the sisters are like on fire right now. Okay, they say, "Come on, Special Ops to Shambia, come on!" Right? And that's good. That is wonderful. That's just something that I wanted to end, something fun to end the show with. Ladies, thank you so much for your invaluable insight today. And for all the women tuning in, remember, this season is not just about waiting for the right person. It's about becoming the best version of who you are. It's about knowing who you are in Christ as well. And you have a lot of people be like, okay, well, I'm really there yet with God. This is a excellent opportunity to get there, to get to that point, to let him show you who you are, to let him for you to discover who you are in him. Because obviously, as we've been what was reiterated throughout the show is, hey, purpose, right? Knowing purpose. And the only person who would know purpose is the creator. Exactly. So allow him to get to know. I'm allowing you to get to know him, right? That's where everything comes in. Because if you don't know who you are in him, then you will fall for so many different other things. Any little thing goes, right? Know that first. I think that's foundational. And then I also wanted to share, of course, and I'm so glad that, listen, learnings came from me for whatever little piece of edges I had left on my head, to say, look, and all of us, and all of you, to say, we don't have to go out. We could be in the food store with flip-flops and no makeup on, and they'll find me. Okay. We could be on a dating site and he will find me. So I stand corrected on that, and I want to apologize, because yes, that was in the mindset of saying, hey, come out your house, because that's what I tell my mommy, but that's not a story. Mommy, don't come for me. So I wanted to end on that, because I wanted it to be free. I wanted singles to understand that, hey, there are some valuable women out there who are still committed to Christ, and who's still committed to waiting until God brings that individual to them. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to be pressured by church members and your parents or neighbors or family to say, okay, well, you this age now, you don't need to have to reach some benchmark for you to say, okay, I'm going to go and step foot and get married just because. All right. Allow God to use whatever timing that he has for you to develop you in that process until that mate finds you. Okay, that's important. Allow him to mold you in the process. Learn about who you are. Date yourself. Know what you like from what you don't like. Find out. Lernie said this. Find out about your past history, your family. Find out what, sit down and be like, okay, I noticed my auntie got divorced when she was in her 3rd year. My next auntie never got married. This one, okay, let's find out what that is first, so we could break that. Let's find out let's look at our red flags. That's something that I brought up in the show. What are some things that I can work on so that I don't push no one away? Or so I don't mess things up when God has given me that valuable husband who I've been praying for, right? Because you're supposed to be the good thing. You don't want to be the messed up thing, right? You don't want to sabotage yourself or your marriage or the prayer. Our mentor, Tashambi and I, our mentor says, pray until you see it. And when you see it, protect it. What? You protect? Listen, as married now, I protecting every little thing concerning me and him by God's grace. You understand? If I could control my mouth, I controlling it. Because I ain't gonna be no foolish woman around here messing up my mouth. Oh, right?
Come on.
Come on. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing out here. Yeah, the streets. I don't want nobody to think that nothing else left out there. Because as Tashambia and Lernie's they have stated, look, he's out there preparing himself as well. He's out there praying for his good thing right now as we speak. Don't be discouraged. Don't be dismayed. He is there. Okay? And I don't even be pressured to say you have to be married, because you don't have to be married. There are lots of men in the Bible who ain't never been married before, and they're quite content. Okay, but they could give you some advice about marriage because of what Holy Spirit told them or instructed them to say. But they are quite content serving the Lord. So don't feel pressured. All right. I just wanted to share that. Protected. Listen, my help meet, our help meet army, we don't play, right? They don't play. I just wanted, I want to big them up as well. For those who don't know anything about what we're referring to, just go ahead and the website to Shambia. You happen to know the website offhand?
It's GeraldandYvette.com.
GeraldandYvette.com. Go ahead and look it up if you don't know what we're referring to. Listen,
Army.
they don't just cater to married folk, they cater to singles as well. Those who are in the process of wanting to get married, and for those who just saying, hey, I just want to know, I want to fulfill purpose, I want to know who I am, I want to know how I can better myself in the marketplace, I want to know how I can better myself in my particular ministries. So the Help Meet Army is not specifically for just marriages or people who just want to get married. I just wanted to put that in there. And Tashambi is thriving. I'm thriving, and there are so many others who are thriving because God has placed within our mentors the vision of making sure that we are taken care of spiritually here on earth, right?
Mhm.
I had to put that there. Okay.
Yes.
All right, so we out, y'all. And I want to thank each and every one of you once again for your insight. I want to thank my Your Lane Talk Show sponsors, John Shoe Store and Accessories, Emmanuel Medical Center, Lysol Disinfectant, Airwick, Del Monte, Marriage Mechanics, Hadassah's Helping Hands, and Your Lane Life Coaching. Ready to transform your life and relationships? At Your Lane Life Coaching, we help couples build strong marriages, purposeful relationships, and a God centered life. From premarital coaching to marriage restoration, we guide you every step of the way. Book your session today. Visit www.yourlanelifecoaching.com or call 1-242-376-8689. Your lane is waiting. Are you ready to walk in it? Thank you, Beats, for holding as you always do. And to our continued listening audience and first-time listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to the show. Please follow the page Your Lane Life Coaching on Facebook to get all the updates and goodies from the show. And you can also go to Coach Trish Hannah on YouTube to watch the previous shows. And when you're there, please like and subscribe. I pray that you were all empowered, educated, and encouraged today. And I want you to know that next week, God's willing, is going to make 3 years that Your Lane Talk Show has been in existence. Listen to me. Let me tell y'all something. I was challenged to do this show by myself. I was told to do it. They said, don't bring no guests. They said, come raw. Now I want y'all to know my boots shaking, the knees shaking, everything shaking, because this one can be an hour and a half where I'm actually talking about purpose, and I'm talking about how I came about with this particular show, what God has taught me during this process and the journey. And so that, by God's grace, is what I will be sharing. So I pray that I get that same support right next week Sunday, God's willing, because I gonna need it. All right. I've been behind the scenes far too long, fighting God for far too long, trying to say I don't want to for far too long. And when I finally said yes, He has given me the grace to do just that. So I want, for those who may be struggling with the same situation or still battling, or whether or not you want to go ahead and do what God has asked and you want to do it in obedience, tune in next week to hear my story. All right. God bless you, and I pray that you have a happy Sunday. Until next time.
There's so much more to say about